just before NDI, what's the transition look like from a mindset point of view and a growth point of view as an individual when you're working in that environment of SMEs and then NDI?
I think the biggest challenge is government is, and any government work is a particular way and style of working. It tends to be a more frenetic pace but slower outcome delivery. So lots of work going on in the background to achieve policy change and reform. One of the things, and I think the agency is a little bit different to most other government entities, particularly when I was working there, because of its relatively new introduction at that point, there was still a lot of trial and error and still a lot of, let's see if this works, let's try this approach, does that work? And really trying to find its way in the services that it provides. So it was very much being involved at a point in time when the agency was in its infancy and really growing a lot of policy and procedures and how things were done. And it wasn't uncommon when joining the agency, and I think this is where the similarities to an SME are, of, we need a policy. Well, we don't have one. Okay, let's go make one. So there was a lot of developmental work that needed to go into the organisation, and significantly less staff than what it has today. So certainly a very, very different environment to work in, but a lot of the skills and experiences, having worked in growing an organisation, really put me at home, I think, in the agency to understand that the agency was on that same growth path, both in the number of participants that it was supporting. I think my first quarter when I was at the agency, we were servicing on about 30,000 participants. And then by the time we left, we were well under the 350,000, so 400,000. So it's very similar experience to growing an SME. Noting I think the biggest difference is the lack of financial and profit and loss kind of responsibility, and making sure that things are coming in within that kind of corporate profit environment. But in that said, making sure that you're spending public money is in the best possible way to achieve the best possible outcomes.